So Chelsea reeling is a headline not only for our match today, but really throughout the Premier League this weekend and the start to this month. Their manager, Graham Potter, held a leadership-only meeting this week. You guys have been to these kind of meetings and invited the opinions of his senior players on what particularly has been going wrong. If you found yourself inside that meeting with this club, what would you have shared?
I have been inside those meetings, as has Danny. They weren't, you know, the problem with them, and you usually have them when you're at rock bottom. The problem with rock bottom is there's oftentimes a trap door. And with this Chelsea team, look, I like what Potter's doing. When I look at the players who were confirmed to be in that meeting, Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Thiago Silva, Kovacic, those are the players that I would look to try and get on my side and get my message across, because they're the voices, they're the powerful energy leaders in the dressing room. But again, at the moment, I wouldn't have thought that Graham Potter would have expected to have a crisis meeting this soon into his tenure, Danny.
Yeah, and I think the problem is that, and as Tim's quite rightly said, you do have these meetings. They are crisis meetings. It doesn't happen when things are going well. I look at the 4 players that have been mentioned. 2 of those players are out of contract in the summer, Jorginho and Silva, and nobody knows, obviously, what the future holds. The problem that Chelsea have, and they've had this for such a long time now, is that it's a quick fix. There's no longevity in terms of what they're trying to do. You look at the Premier League, they'll win the Premier League, then they don't win it for 4 years. Then they'll win the Premier League again, and then they don't win it for another 3 years. And that's the problem that Chelsea have now, and they have to turn this around. Now, if you're going on what's gone on in the past, then Graham Potter's going to be under pressure now, which I think is shocking if it is the case. But that's the way that Chelsea have been. You just hope now, under the new leadership with Todd Bowley being there, he's taking a step back and saying, right, Graham Potter, he's coming to the club. This has to be a long-term plan. You know, you look at the successful teams in recent times in the Premier League, Arteta. You look at Klopp and you look at Guardiola. Arteta now is having the success because he's had the trust put in him. All his own players, likewise with Liverpool, likewise with Manchester City. You look at what's happened with Klopp and with Guardiola. Chelsea have had 5 permanent managers since those 2 managers came to the Premier League. And at some point that has to stop, because this isn't Graham Potter's fault. This is just so much a recycling of players and managers year after year, to the point where Graham Potter's got players from 5 or 6 different managers. And that cannot continue if you want to have success.
So things aren't going well right now, but I tell you what this side does have, what they ought to have, a lot of pride and high expectations. They've been in the top 5 each of the last 6 seasons. So if you want to look at the Blues, glass right now is half full, and that they can get it going in the right direction. Where does that start?
Well, like Danny said, it starts at the top. Todd Bowley, he has to be steadfast in his belief in the plan with Graham Potter. Graham Potter talked about the supporters understanding that they are frustrated, right, because it has been a quick fix for so long. So in order to get away from that, the expectation is, with the Chelsea fans, if it's someone else in right now, that shouldn't happen. I mean, Graham Potter's right man for the job. He's inherited all these players who aren't his. The Chelsea for so long have just been buy all these players and then figure it out. You know, this is now a plan where Potter wants his own players. He has a system. Don't all fit that system, so you have to get some out of the door. They obviously brought some new ones in. So you're hoping to start to figure it out. The issue that Chelsea are having right now is the record. I don't think the expectation was that they win the league, but on the opposite end, you can't stink. And right now, they stink. They're 1 win in 8 Premier League games. It's not good. It's not good at all. And so if that trend continues, there will be big problems. I don't expect it to. They haven't lost to Fulham in nearly 17 years. This is an opportunity for a West London derby, their rival, to kind of get a lot of questions from everybody, including us, are being asked.
Yeah, being in 10th, you have the better teams right in front of you, behind you, that are in trouble. What direction do you think this is going to go?
Well, you would hope that it would go up, but I think another thing to add to what we've been saying as well, you look at Graham Potter, he went to Brighton, he had a full pre-season, had a full transfer window, won 2 of his first 9. He had a group of players there that he either inherited or he signed, that it was their dream to play in the Premier League. So they took everything that he said on board. They did everything to the point where it was a well-oiled machine. Every player was capable of doing what Graham Potter wanted them to do, but not just that, wanted to do what Graham Potter wanted them to do. He goes to Chelsea now. You've got players that have won Champions League. You've got players that have played at Madrid. Carry on, you know, the list is endless. So what you have to do as a manager then is very difficult, because what does he have backing him up? You look at Chelsea, they've had Frank Lampard, was a Chelsea legend. They've had Tuchel, they've had Mourinho, they've had Conte, they've had managers that speak for themselves, Ancelotti. And that, for me, is another big thing, because I played for lesser clubs than Chelsea. But even when we would have a new manager coming in at times, Tim, players would like, who's this guy? And it's difficult.
Paul, the interesting thing about this is, and I stand by it, Chelsea, Premier League, Chelsea have been a player power club, meaning the powerful players at the club don't like something, they went upstairs to Abramovich and they got changes made. And so that's become a trend. And so I'm really looking for what the reaction is going to be. Those players that were in the crisis meeting, do they say, you're right, Gaffer, we appreciate what you're saying, coming to us, we'll translate that message? Or do they go, you know what? I don't need to listen to him. So I'll get him replaced. I don't think that's the case. I'm hoping for the right reaction, but we've seen that along the way.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.